An M.i.a on this channel. Let me plug this in. You're gonna look at my ceiling for a second. There you go, that's better. So, I've been a little M.i.a, mainly because I had no way of recording or making videos. The other day, I tried uploading a video of my grandfather. Yeah, a lot has changed. I think it's been about a couple years, or about like 3 or 4 years since I've actually posted a video. Don't mind my face, I look like fucking shit. Yeah, like I said, a lot has changed. The 2 guinea pigs that I have posted a lot, Sophie, sorry, I'm recording on my phone, so it's like, my phone keeps, like, making weird noises. I had the 2 guinea pigs that I had, Sophie and Lucy. Sophie, the white one. I am sad to announce that Sophie has passed. What had basically happened to her was she developed, don't mind, I look like crap in this video, sorry. Sophie had passed, like I said, and she had developed cancer. We didn't really notice it until it was too late. And how we figured it out, I'm sorry, I'm sitting on my bed, I'm sitting on a bunk bed. I'm on the bottom bunk, so if you guys are wondering where the hell are you at, I'm under a bed. I don't want to be a YouTuber, I post like once a year. Sophie basically developed cancer. Like I said, we didn't notice it till it was too late. Mainly because one day, I work at this fair called the Heritage Fair. My sister's a stage 2 manager, so if you're ever in Baltimore, make sure that you go to the Heritage Fair. It happens around 4th of July. By the way, we were leaving to go there, and then next thing you know it, I looked in Sophie's cage, Sophie and Lucy's cage, and Sophie's just in a daze. Well, I was like, look at her, she's like tripping with the Brady's. She's in a daze. And I mean, I went like this in front of the cage, she sat there. Shelby went up and went like this in her face, and these are the type of guinea pigs that if you do that, they'll start running around the cage. When she did that, Sophie just sat there, and she knew something was wrong. She picked her up, and Sophie was limp. Like, she was still alive, though, but she was limp. She sat her down on the floor, and Sophie slowly did that across the floor. Sophie could barely move. So immediately, my sister Shelby busts out into tears, and my mom's flipping out. She's going, "Ooh, what? Sorry." She immediately, like, goes, "Well, what's wrong? Is she dead? What's going on?" She's like, "No, she's barely moving." And so they ended up having to rush her to the vet, and the vet diagnosed her with cancer. And so he ended up giving her a shot and said, if she improves, bring her back Thursday, and hopefully everything will be better. Well, then, later that night, Shelby was noticing everything that was wrong with her. Because of the shot, she kept on running around, she was flipping out, she didn't know what was going on. They put Lucy with her, and Lucy kept on trying to, like, lift her up with her nose, saying, "It's gonna be okay, sissy," and everything like that. Well, then later that night, I was in the shower, I came back downstairs, and Shelby had announced that Sophie had died. And so we buried her in our little pet cemetery on the side of the house, and she's in a marked grave, and she's in a better place. That happened, like, almost a year ago. Sorry, I had my nails done, and I only have a thumbnail on because I can't get the thumbnails off. And another thing that has changed. My grandfather had passed. He was sick for a while. He basically, this video is probably going to be like 20 minutes long. He's in his 80s. And, oh, my hair looks like crap. Sorry. He had a lot of problems. He was in his 80s. He was developing dementia. Like, he's from Ashland, Pennsylvania. And he kept on telling my mom, "You need to go down to this candy shop down the street from us." And this candy shop that was up in Ashland. I guess it was torn down like a couple years ago, and he's like, "You need to go to this candy shop. You need to get yourself a milkshake and all this other junk." And my mom's like, "We're not in Ashland. We're in Baltimore. You haven't lived up in Ashland since you were a teen, since you were like 20." And it's just a lot of things. And then he started to develop a lot of what are they called? UTIs. And from the UTIs, they're talking about me. They're like, "Who is she talking to?" He kept on developing all these UTIs. Well, with the UTIs, because he was older, it kind of gave him the symptoms of dementia. We later found out. Because my dad has a home care nurse, and I'm going to get into that subject later, that his home care nurse said from the bacteria of the UTI, basically, hold on, let me pause. Is it recording? Yep, okay. I ended up switching spots and shutting my door because I don't want people hearing me talk to you guys. Sorry about the mess behind me. My hair looks like poop. Alright, so like I was saying, with the UTIs, he ended up getting really, really sick. And he just, like, he would just be sitting there. Here, I'm gonna go back to my bed. He would just be sitting there, and just out of nowhere, he would just start flipping out. And he would scream. They had him on, what's that thing called? Not a bedpan, but it was like a little pee bag thing. I can't remember what it's called. Shit, what is it called? If you guys know, leave a comment below. It's where they stick the tube in your areas. Well, he had one of them, and he kept on trying to rip it out. Well, when he ripped it out, he cut himself the one day, and they found blood there. And it was very uncomfortable for him. He kept on flipping out, and finally, all the UTIs kept on going away, and he was fine, but the only thing is that he would get confused sometimes. Well, in October, we went up there, no, I think it was September. Well, no, I'm sorry, let me start over with that. August, we went there on my mom's birthday. We saw him, he looked me dead in my face, and he said, "Hi, I don't think I know you." And my aunt looked at him and said, "Yes, you do. That's Melissa." And so he ended up going, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And he basically wouldn't leave me alone for that whole day, but that was the thing that kind of freaked me out about it. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So, with that, he wouldn't leave me alone that whole day. Well, then, we went to go see him. Sorry, my mom's, like, acting like a jerk down the hall. And so, we went to go see him. In October, he was in the hospital. He had developed another UTI. And my uncle's like, "Don't get freaked out. He's gonna be screaming like this, like he did again that summer." And I mean, when he did that summer, it freaked my sister out. My sister didn't want to ever see him again like that. Well, when we went to see him, of course, he was flipping out. He sounded like, because, like, when he had the UTIs, he would sit there and be like, he would just go, "Oh," I don't know, and you go, "What's wrong? Are you okay? Do you need anything?" He'll look at you and go, "What? What? What happened?" And yeah. Well, finally, at the end, the last day I saw him, I gave him a kiss on his head, and that was the last I saw him alive. Well, I think it was, I also teach a Sunday school, so I went to Sunday school as normal. Well, I mean, I was getting up to go. I heard my mother and father talking. And she sounded upset, and I heard her kept on saying, "Him, him, him." It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Mind you this. And I mean, I go walking through, and my mom said, "Melissa, I gotta tell you something." I was like, "Did he pass?" Like, I knew what she was talking about. And she was like, "Unfortunately, yes." So, when I was in the bathroom trying to take a shower, I tried to keep the shower as loud as possible, and I started crying. Because it's my grandfather. It's the only grandfather I've had in my life. My other grandfather died when I was a baby, so I never really got to meet him. What the hell was on my camera? Like, yeah. The other one died when I was a baby, and yeah. So he ended up passing. My mom flipped kind of like cried our eyes out at the funeral. Like it was a mess. Like there was a lot of people that I didn't see since I was little. I was so happy to see them, but I wish it was under better circumstances. Like I wish that we were having a big old party and they were just coming. But it wasn't like that. It was a funeral. And that's the only time when you get to see people like that is at funerals because they don't come to parties anymore. Like I was planning on throwing my mom a big old 55th birthday this year, and there's certain people that are like, "Sweetie, I can't come. I can't come, sweetie." But it's like, but you could take time out of your schedule to go to my grandfather's funeral. You can't go to a party that I'm having for my mom, but you'll go to a funeral. Like, really? Like, really? Do you understand that? It sucks how our society